Okay, welcome everybody to our May Fierce Leader Team call. I'm especially excited about this one because we've got some really fun speakers and you get to hear less from me. So I'm not going to waste your time with what I have to say as much, but we do need to go through recognition because it's always important and fun. So in Fierce Oilers, we've got 9 new team members. So we're at 912. We're creeping towards that 1,000. Still thinking of something fun to do that. Our top enrollers. So Wendy had 2 enrollments, and this is what Gary makes me do. Don't hate on me. I had 2 enrollments too. So he always wants to make sure that you guys know that I'm not just sitting on the floor over here in front of Whitney's kitchen hanging out. And then I wanted to highlight the following 2 people who had 1 enrollment: Marla Hill and Betty Stromberg. I think that our April Wellness series really deserves some recognition. So I called it Power Up with Essential Oils, but we all called it our own thing. Basically, we had 22 classes. I think it was more with some of the things that were added in, but around 22 classes in the month of April. There was 8 of you fierce leaders putting them on who said yes to my crazy idea. We had over 150 Fierce Oilers attend those classes. I know some of us are doing a couple of these classes into May. I'm hitting up a couple people. My mom and I have a class tomorrow night. But I just think like the response was sick. It was awesome. So I've got some more ideas around this, but I just like that deserves some recognition to me. I think that's awesome. As far as announcements and promotions for this month, so our May theme in Fierce Oilers, the education is all about greening up your personal care routine. So that's what our monthly call is, and it's on May 20th at 8 p.m. All right, baby won't be here by then, fingers crossed. So we should be good to go, and it will be a really fun call. So that's what you can expect in Fierce Oilers. Some ideas for you for customer support this month as you're thinking about staying in regular contact. So when you do contact them about oils, it doesn't feel funny. So honestly, my first recommendation is to keep using the Symphony of the Cells format. Get a group together, set a time. If you don't know how to teach it, fine, grab your leader who can. You might even be able to convince your leader to do something online for you that can't be recorded, but maybe make that work a little bit. But do not miss this education opportunity because people are all over it. It's so fruitful. Okay, so that's one of my ideas. The other thing is Father's Day kit. So details are still coming out, but I would encourage you to send out texts on either May 23rd or the 24th. Just like, hey, wanted to give you a heads up that our Father's Day kit is going live, or it is live, depending on when you send it. It goes live the 24th. Price and details, I couldn't find that anywhere. I know it's coming. And then if you have any questions, let me know. And the other thing is always great monthly support is to invite your people personally to the Fierce Oiler call. So hey, our free education call this month is focusing on greening up your personal care routine. We'll cover some easy tips and swaps that anyone can do. It's online at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, May 20th. Are you free that night? So pretty easy, pretty straightforward, but just some ideas for you to get you thinking about ways that you can just like take 15 minutes, shoot off text to your customers and make sure that they feel cared for. All right, so the promo this month for new enrollment is get LOV for free. I posted a bunch of graphics in Fierce Leaders so you can pick from those. This is just one of them. So just some thoughts and ideas for you on this. Do not overwhelm people. Like, do not fire hose them. Personally, I wouldn't even use this image or any of the images basically that I posted until my follow-up appointment with a new customer, if at all. Like, I know I posted them for you to be able to use and they're in like Fierce Oilers, but like I would be really careful with using these graphics so you don't confuse people or, like I said, fire hose them. So for me, if somebody is considering enrolling or just enrolled, you can mention, right, that their kit purchase qualifies them to earn one of doTERRA's #1 products, the Lifelong Vitality Pack, for free if they choose. And then when you do your follow-up appointment, as usual, you would remind them, right, that they qualify for the free Lifelong Vitality, which is a $70 value. So I think just kind of walking through that, hopefully you're already doing follow-up appointments and helping them with their wish list and kind of thinking about other products that would be helpful, already talking about the Lifelong Vitality. So this should weave pretty well into a lot of the things that you're already doing. It's just about being smart about that and a little bit of verbiage change. But if you just post this graphic, you're not going to have people enrolling because you have to break it into bite-sized pieces. And I would really encourage you to get super comfortable this month. I mean, in general, explaining the Lifelong Vitality. So that might mean practicing in your car to a stuffed animal, to a family member, to your dog. That might mean setting up a time with your coach or your leader to go over that. I'm going to post fresh. It's already in the files tab in Fierce Leaders, but Em has an outline. Heidi has some outlines that she's typed out, and I will post those in Fierce Leaders so you can kind of check for those after this call. But it's just like a continual process, right? Explaining such a big, expansive product in a clear, concise way. So keep working on it. It's worth it. Convention 2019, right? Tickets went live. There's 13 of you already going. It's September 10th to the 13th. Realistically, you could just be there the 11th, 12th, and 13th if you spin it right. And tickets are $169, and as far as I'm concerned, they're still available. So don't forget about this. It's going to be a ball. Just really quickly, some updates for you guys on Diamond Baby and what to expect in these next months as I'm heading into a bit of a transitional spot. So you can expect that monthly calls and Fierce Leaders and Fierce Oilers will run as usual. Same with oil camps, right? Things are going to run with the help of many of you and with uplines, but I'm really going to be off the grid. Email me. Emailing me is going to be the best way to get a hold of me. I will check that out, but really you're going to want to reach out to your leader or to my mom or to one of the uplines you hear from tonight. So this is going to start realistically around the end of May, like when baby comes is when I'll stop. And my expected return date is July 22nd. Okay, so just so you know a little bit about that. Okay, so we get to hear from Wendy, Melissa, Miranda, and Heidi tonight. And before I pass it over to them, I hope it's okay with you all. I don't necessarily always do this, but I wanted to share a couple of thoughts, just something that I've been kind of ruminating on before I hand it over. So I'm taking a social media course. I don't typically pay for courses and do stuff like this, but there was Emerge was offering a social media engagement course. So I said, yes, I'm going to do it. Maybe you've noticed some things different in our customer group or different things that I'm doing on my personal page. Maybe you haven't. That's okay. But we're on week 13 of this course, and there have been some really, really good nuggets. And something from our last group coaching that I just wanted to share. And I feel like I say this, but I don't think I can say this enough. So maybe you're hearing this for the first time. Maybe you're hearing this for the millionth time, but I'm going to say this again. Each of us on this call is going to shine in our own way. Each of us is going to do this business in our own way. So for example, you might see me on social media and you might think like, that's awesome. I'd like to learn how to do that. And you might see social media stuff I'm doing and think, never in a million years would I do any of that. That sounds miserable, like absolutely terrible. Please don't make me do that. Either way is fine, right? If you want to know how, then you set up a time with me. I'll help break it down as best I can, and we'll go from there. Another example would be, I have a system for everything. My systems make my mom want to gouge her eyeballs out, right? Like this is just like, doesn't work for her. So like, if you are like, I love systems and mapping things out like a crazy person, then like, let's talk. And if you're like, no, then don't. So, I realize that might sound elementary, but I just like have to keep reminding you guys, don't show up in your doTERRA business trying to be somebody else, because people will sniff it out. Like it'll be very evident. It's very obvious. So you all have permission from me, even though you don't need it. but I'm going to say it here, to just shine your own way. I want a bunch of shiny, fierce leaders who are doing their own thing in their own sweet spot, not a bunch of carbon copies. So don't let the things that we're all working on feel like it's batting you around from place to place. Pick what you want and what you love and what speaks to you, and go hard after it, right? Be inspired and let the other things fall away. Okay. So that's just something I wanted to say tonight that was kind of on my mind. And I wanted to hand it over to Wendy first. I asked her to share a little bit about a recent enrollment she had and something she's been up to with that. So I'm going to hand it over to her.
Thanks, Amy.
Yeah.
Fierce leaders. Amy just asked if I would share a little bit about my recent enrollment with Refined Medical Spa. I have been wooing them for the last 8 or 9 months. And it has been a very interesting process. So I just wanted to tell you real quick about how I did that and where I'm at with it right now. So I think it was October. Actually, no, let me back up. Last summer, I enrolled the owner of the spa, one of the co-owners of the spa, who's a friend of mine because her husband and my husband work together. And she's a doctor and she's into natural everything. And she just fell in love with doTERRA and uses them all the time. And so she said, hey, you should talk to my office manager at the spa and see about getting oils in the spa. So I did. I contacted Ashley and set up a time to meet with her, and it got canceled. And so we set up another meeting, and it got canceled. And this is all, I had never met her, I'd never been face to face. So I went in one day after another canceled appointment and met her face to face. And I feel like that was a huge selling point, was for me to meet her and be able for her to see who I am, because when you're emailing with people, they just don't know who you are. And it also gave me a chance to interact with Dr. K while she was there. And so Ashley saw me interact with her, and we talked oils in front of Ashley. So I realized the importance of putting yourself out there and actually being visible to people. So then I sat down with Ashley, and we actually had a conversation, and I went through the whole one-on-one with her and very specific information about what would be beneficial in their spa. So I wasn't talking about the Home Essentials Kit or the Family Essentials Kit. I was talking about the Aromatherapy Diffused or the Emotional Aromatherapy Kit. And she was really interested. She actually had some doTERRA oils, but didn't have her own account. So she was really interested. And then I walked away feeling like this is going to be great. She's going to get something. No such luck. So I emailed her a couple days later. She's like, well, still thinking about it. A week later, yeah, I just don't think we can do it right now. And I was like, oh, okay. So it disappeared for a while. And then I sent information again in December, and she really liked everything that I sent her and was really excited. Made appointments, canceled appointments, made appointments, canceled appointments. Okay, long story short, this last month, I contacted her again after not saying anything for about 2 months. Contacted her again, and just kind of last-ditch effort. I know you like the oils. I know what it is that you'd like for your spa. I'd love to help you get that. So if you are ready to talk to me, let's set up a date. And she said, yep, let's do it. And I met with her. And of course, in my head, I was thinking, well, you need an AromaTouch Diffuse kit for every single one of your rooms. But that didn't happen. She just got one, and that's fine. It's good. They're enrolled. And I actually meet with them tomorrow. I meet with her tomorrow again for the follow-up. And Emily and I sat down and knocked out a few things that would be really important. So I'm really going to push Yarrow Palm for them to use after all of their facials and all of their skin things, that services that they do. And then hoping that they would get that to sell in their office. And then also came up with 3 signature scents for them to choose from that would really be specific to their spa. So I came up with some of those too. And so we'll see how that goes tomorrow. But I just want you guys to know that sometimes it takes months of talking with people, and that's okay. You are going to have people that are going to right off the bat say, nope, not interested. And then a year later come back and say, hey, someone else said something about oils, and I remember you talked about oils. Can you talk to me about them again? So yeah, just stick to it and don't be afraid to go back even a couple months later and remind them that they had spoken to you and talked to you, and see if they want them again.
Thank you, Wendy. That was perfect. Perfect. Isn't it fun to hear from other people what they're doing? I love it. Okay, so let's start first with, let's do Melissa, Miranda, Heidi. Does that work? So Mom, you want to take it away?
Wendy, that was awesome. Thanks for sharing and encouraging us all. There were 2 things that you said that I wanted to go back to, and one is that Gary Baumetz so appropriately said years ago, every no becomes a yes. If you're beautiful and you're patient and you wait and you care for that person, it will become a yes. So congratulations on doing that. And the other thing that you said that was really, I wanted to highlight, Wendy, is the need to talk it through with a teammate, talk it through with a crossline, talk it through with somebody. Even if you're not the kind of person that would normally do that, find somebody that you can talk it through with. And, they came up with the signature scent. And I mean, Wendy, that was probably your idea, but it was just good to talk to Emily about that. And I think that's just amazing. So yeah, my summer, this is what's happening. My year has been a really hard year so far. I keep thinking I'm going to get a break, and it doesn't happen. So in the theme of doing hard things, I decided that I was going to put myself out there and do something that truly makes me want to vomit every day. So here we go. I am piggybacking on our classes that we did for Symphony of the Cells. I just really, I beat Amy up all the time about her systems, those damn systems. But they are her secret sauce, and they're my nemesis. But I'm learning, and Amy's way of figuring out how to do Symphony of the Cells classes was just nothing short of brilliant, and a great template, a great thing for us all to follow, Amy. So thank you. And for this duo that's Amy and I have been trying to get butts and seats for years, for stinking years. And we got butts and seats. They were lining up outside my house to have the cute parking attendants. I really think they just came to see the guys parking, honestly. But amazing response. So I decided to piggyback on that because the secret here is that I have 100% closing rate in one-on-ones, and I have literally zero in classes. I don't close in classes. So I'm doing classes, right? Doesn't that make sense? So I'm doing 9 classes to piggyback on the momentum that we started locally at our library. I approached the library, was just all sweaty about it. Laura Whipperman, I was sweaty. And my husband said, why don't you go to the library? They've got this new space and see if they'll let you do it. And oh my goodness, they're going to let me do a series of 9 classes. They're going to be 9 make-and takes. I went in today and pled my case to ask if I could be reimbursed for my costs. So I'm going to be able to get reimbursed for every roller that somebody buys from me. And I have a lot of the materials, and the materials I don't have, I'm going to cop out of you guys that have leftovers that you're not using from Lisa Zimmer. Cough them up. So if I'm short any labels or something, you might be hearing from me. But I'm really excited about that. And at that, so then the other thing I'm doing, we always are supposed to advertise a class at a class, right? So I'm going to be telling people that I'm doing a thing on Friday nights in downtown Three Lakes where people wander around with their ice cream and their coffee from Fika So Fika's opening up, our Swedish bakery. They just had another baby. They're opening the first Friday in June for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So Friday nights, I'm going to be at my husband's office right next door to Fika. I pitched the idea to them, asked them if we could do something together. Now, the owner of Fika does not use essential oils, right? She's very non-committal. She's very polite and kind and loves us, but not an essential oil user. So I had to screw up my courage and vomit a little bit and reach out to her and say, can we do this together? And she was like, yes, I'll make a beautiful chalkboard sign for outside of your business, encouraging people to come in. And she said, I'll give people 10% off their beverage if they go next door and meet with you one-on-one. And I'm like, woo. So that's Friday nights. I'll be able to tell people about that. And the other thing I'm doing is I'm going to do 90 days of 1-minute videos. This is the ultimate in like vomiting and peeing your pants at the same time. Sorry about all the graphic stuff, but hey, we're going into childbirth, so why not? But I am going to do 90 days of 1-minute videos on my personal Facebook page, which I really try hard to like keep uncluttered. But from the social media class that I took at Leadership with Heidi, I've realized that I don't think there is such a thing after all these years of me cluttering people's news feeds. People know who I am. They know, like, and trust me. So now it's time to put my big girl pants on and do 90 days of videos. So should I tell them what the title is? But nobody can steal it, okay?
But you're signing on the dotted line. Nobody can.
Yes, nobody can steal this. This is mine. And then you can have it after. But my son, I had him make an oil holder for our wall. Some of you have seen pictures, and I'm going to do videos, 90 bottles of oil on my wall. Take one down and pass it around. And I'm going to have people, the call to action each time will be comment below what oil do you run out of all the time that you think people would like to know more of, or what oil do you have that you never open and you can't remember why? I'll talk about it next time. So I'm not going to go sequentially, Aim. I confess my sin. There's not going to be an alpha order here. But I'm going to do it that way. So those are the things that are making me like lose sleep in among all of the transition to Appleton and a baby and just trying to make it through life this summer. So if you see me, give me a big hug and tell me good luck. And thanks for all your love and support.
Thank you, Mom. That was perfect. Again, super fun to hear what other people are doing. If you want to get butts in seats, start valet parking people's cars for your class, and they will come back. Gary and Bob got beer from somebody for doing it. Okay. They're like, leave your credit card. And leave your credit card on the dash. We'll go fill up your car. Seriously, you love on those ladies. Oh, they will be there. They will be there. Okay. So I would not be afraid to enlist that. Thank you, Mom. That was perfect. See, living in your own genius, doing different things, no systems involved. It's beautiful. Okay, Mer, you're up. If you need me to share anything, let me know. Otherwise, you should be able to share your screen.
Yeah, it should be able to. It will take me a minute because I want to read from my notes because they're deep. And when they're deep, I need to read from them. So it's from my heart. But basically, guys, how's my volume? Let me try that. Good. Okay. Basically, I just want to thanks Amy for asking me to share. This is a little deeper, I'll just say, than I really wanted to go. But in our time together, I just pray that you walk away with an awareness of your words and a peek into what an identity statement is. Okay. So I'm speaking to myself as well. This isn't like I've got this, I've nailed this, I can manifest this. This is I'm walking through this. So I want to do this with you. And if this, so I want you to write down this question if you want to. Okay. And if any of this doesn't resonate, you can dump it. It's not a big deal. If words, and I'm not going to type it because again, I'm reading my notes. If words became worlds, WORLDS, what would I call into existence? If words became worlds, what would I call into existence? And I can't see the chat either. So this is not my question. If anybody wants to know the author, they can just let me or ask. But when I heard it and then I journaled it, like I just knew it was something for me to grasp onto. Okay. So that question awakened within me something so deep because I knew it was truth. And then it kind of shook me a little bit because if I chose to believe this and live it, it would mean me taking responsibility for my life and start walking out of my world of excuses and victim mentality. So I present to you tonight that your words create worlds. So now I'm going to break this down for you through my perspective. And again, if it doesn't resonate with you, toss it. This isn't a religious course in words. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. Life and death are in the power of my tongue. Okay. I'm not going to twist this subject and go into bondage here. I'm going to use wisdom and just increase awareness of what is coming out of my mouth, and hopefully increase awareness of what's coming out of your mouth. As I believe this is a general picture, what comes out of my mouth is what's going on in my heart. So here's one step for you. This is easy. I think I'm going to give you 3 steps. I think that's where I'm at. Step 1, increase awareness of what's coming out of your mouth. Just have an increased awareness. Even go so far as to jot down little phrases that come out, or put it in your notes in your phone. That's what I do. What do you hear that's repeated often? What do you say that possibly isn't bringing life to you, that isn't bringing life to you? So that's step 1, increase awareness. Turn the volume up. Super powerful. Awareness is actually huge. Step 2, if you want, take responsibility for what's coming out of your mouth and choose a new way. And I'm not saying this flippantly. Oh, choose a new way. That's so easy. It's not. I've been walking this out for 2 years, well, longer, but 2 years intentionally. It's ridiculous. But take responsibility and choose a new way, an i.e. a new phrase. Reverse what you're saying, or just throw it out. I mean, it is easy, but it's not. So it just depends on how you look at it. So for example, I used to say, my life sucks. And I'm not meaning to laugh, but this is like a long time ago, but I'm like, it's embarrassing. Life sucks. My life sucks. My life sucks. And it was actually super smooth off my tongue. It felt like good. I was like, my life sucks. Ooh, that's like a melody. And my life wasn't cherries and roses at this time. Okay. But wouldn't you know it, me continually saying this, and I continually releasing junk, I really attracted not good things in my life, and my life didn't improve. Go figure. God was really trying to get my attention. This is around age 24. I'm 39 now. I'm not a slow learner, but 24, he told me words are powerful. Like one of those, like I really didn't listen a lot, but he's like, words are powerful. And I was just like, cool, peace. Didn't think about it till years and years later. And I started looking at my words and being like, okay, this is important. Step 3, write it out. Okay. So when Amy asked me to share on this call, I prayed about really what was going on in God's heart to share, because there's so many topics. There's so much stuff. I'm sharing this topic because this is like one of those things that's really important in my life. It's changed my life. It's still changing my life. I'm in the process with you guys as I'm walking this out in business and life. And when I looked up as I was praying and just sitting there like, what am I sharing about? I looked up at my cupboard where I spend a lot of my time, and I saw this. Now give me a sec, because now I have to find the share. Okay, where's that?
Do you want me to do it, Mer? I will.
If you want, yeah, that's okay. So I look up
it off your plate. I'm going to take it off Mer's plate.
I was going to take it off your plate, and it didn't work. Whatever. I thought it was cool.
I got you, girl.
Okay, so I looked up in my cupboard and I saw that. Okay, so literally mess, and you can read through it, you don't have to, but I looked up and I'm like, oh, okay, that was really highlighted to me. These words coming out at me were super highlighted. My declaration cards and truth statements were super highlighted. And you can keep that in if you want, no problems.
Okay.
So, or not, whatever you want to do. So I said, okay, I'll share in that, God, no problems. So for me, changing my words, which really is a byproduct of inner healing and getting my heart healed, my broken heart healed, and etc., did not come easy to me. In fact, it actually really felt impossible. I'm just being real. Impossible, like there's no way I can do that. So I gathered up resources. I gathered up things that would fill my Instagram feed, would gather up things that would fill my inbox, would gather up things that go before my eyes, because it's super important, because what goes into my eyes go into my soul. What goes into my ears go into my soul. And I kind of filtered out things that weren't life-giving to me. And like, what are other people doing? So here's just beginner and advanced versions of what I'm talking about. Did I start out by saying words are powerful and identity statements? Well, whatever. So we're talking about words are powerful and then an identity statement. So beginner, here's a beginner. Write out other people's declarations or truth statements. It's totally okay to copy what inspires you and what speaks to you. There's a lie. I believe I work with a coach, and she's hardcore. There's no joke about that. I almost like step into a boxing ring with somebody who speaks truth in such a way that literally I feel boxing gloves flying at my face. But it's like, that's what I want. And it's not like abuse. It's not abusive. It's just really like, okay, this isn't going to work for you. If this is what you want, but it's such a good thing. It's God. It's really God. And she was like, comparison is given such a black eye. Yeah. Comparison kills creativity. However, comparison can inspire. So if comparison is used to inspire, that's a blessing, right? Because some people don't know where to start. I don't know where to start when it comes to decoration. Thank God for Pinterest. Hallelujah. So anyway, going back, beginner. So write out other people's declarations or truth statements. It's totally okay to copy what inspires you, what speaks to you. Almost done. Advanced or moving forward, sit in your quiet time and ask God, who did you create me to be? Who was I before the beginning of time? And what is my identity statement? And at first, when my coach presented this to me like a year ago, I was like, right. But over time, as I sat in it and sat in it and sat in it and ate it and wrote it out and looked at other people's and what sounds good, what resonates with me, what's not in alignment with me, blah, blah, blah. I just sat and listened and just sit in the quiet, and don't be afraid of the quiet, but we won't go into that. I'm almost done. And listen to what comes. So it may feel like it's your words coming. You're lovely, you're fierce, you're wonderful, you're beautiful. Those are God. That's God. But if it's uplifting and soothes your soul, it's God. If it's condemning and other junk, throw it out. Write it out. Put it on a card, in your phone. Put it in front of you. Say it as often as you like. And I would like to share a few lines of my identity statement if you guys are okay with that. And then I'll be done. Okay. I'm an agent of healing. I'm a conscious cultivator. I'm a truth seeker. I give hope. I'm a divine strategist. I get paid for being me. I operate and function from a place of victory and a place of rest. And I operate and function from a place of abundance and prosperity. And there's more, but that's all I wanted to share right now. So be patient with yourself, just some encouragement. Building history and new history takes time. Walking in a new way is a process, especially with words, and to really reprogram. And I just want to say bless you guys and thank you for your time.
Thanks, Mara. That was perfect. Thanks for sharing from your heart. I loved it. Okay, Heidi, you're up.
Awesome. Thanks, Miranda. That is so good. Like, if words become worlds, what would I call into existence? Gonna have to work on that. Okay, so I had two things. I was like, oh, I could talk about, like, I'm a numbers person. I really do love numbers. I was gonna talk about the value of the numbers, but I actually changed at the last minute. So I've done this exercise recently. It's called 7 Levels Deep Thinking. And maybe you've done this before. This is actually a tool used by Dean Graziosi, I think is how you say his name. He wrote the book Millionaire Success Habits. And if any of you had this like twinge in your gut when I said the word millionaire and success, you have to look at your mindset of what you think money is and what you think wealth and prosperity is. But anyway, that is a good book to look into, and I'll share the link to the website in the chat here. But there's an exercise he does called 7 Levels Deep Thinking, and I thought this was kind of cool because our compensation plan, see, like numbers, like our compensation plan goes 7 levels deep, and I'm almost thinking like your level of thinking as deep as like you can go maybe would correlate to like the levels of deep that you're getting paid. I don't know, we'll see. But the reason like kind of behind this exercise is it resonates, it connects with your why of like why you're doing doTERRA. So how many of you have actually sat down and wrote out like why doing doTERRA as a business is important to you? Raise your hand. Okay, so some of you, I see like 5 hands. So how many of you, when you did that, you're like, oh my gosh, this is like so fluffy, like foo-foo-y, like this just doesn't really even connect with me right now. Raise your hand honestly. Okay, yeah, like, okay. So when I started doTERRA, I just wanted to pay for my kids' piano lessons and gymnastics. That's really where I was at. I didn't think it would take off the way that it did. And so I very quickly had to look at why I was doing this. And it's changed. It's changed over time. It's changed throughout seasons. Like when Amy's going into baby season, like her why right now is probably like, I am doing this because for such a time as this, that I can just be like, I'm taking 3 months off. You know, and I'm going to focus on my family and my baby. Like, we all get to do that, right? So this exercise is going to help take you from the head to the heart, because there will come a time in your business, probably several times, and Wendy and I have gone through this, where it's like, why is that important to you? So that surface level why that you give, it's kind of like when you ask people, what are you struggling with, and they give you that surface level answer, and you're like, okay, what else? Right? And then you ask again, okay, what else? What else? What else? What else? We don't really get to like the meat of it until maybe like level 5, 6, 7. So I actually went down as far as level 6. I haven't even gotten to level 7 yet, but to be successful in your own business, it does need to resonate in your heart why you are doing this. Running a business, which this is, as I'm going to be real with you, like, it's not all rainbows and butterflies all the time, right? So if you have some hangups, or we have those ups and downs like we do, it's your why that's going to keep you from quitting. And it's okay if this changes. I would say, Wendy, you had asked me, like, what happens when you run out of your 100 names? And I would say it's not really that you run out of names, it's that you run out of passion. And you run out of that connection with your why as to why this is important to you, right? Because as soon as you think about a time where you were like, I don't care what anybody says, I'm just doing this, and I'm like, you know, right? Like, you're just going out and they're getting it. Like, it doesn't matter how many names you had on your list. You were just like, I'm going to find a way. It doesn't matter. That is what I want you to connect into. That is what's going to keep you from quitting. And I promise you, if you just keep going, like how Wendy persevered and she just kept going, I feel like I'm picking on you, Wendy, but I'm not. You will make it, right? So having a deeper why is really going to help you to keep taking those steps towards your long-term goal. So if you go to that website I gave you, there's a bunch of exercises that he has from his book. I encourage you to check them all out, but one of the tools, and they're all free downloads, is the 7 levels deep exercise. And so this really is that simple. It's like, why are you doing doTERRA? Okay, and so you're going to write that down. Well, I'm doing doTERRA because I want to help people. Okay, why do you want to help people? Well, I feel like I want moms to know that they have a choice. Okay, why do you want moms to know that they have a choice? Well, when I was a young mom, I didn't realize I had a choice, and my child had this reaction from her vaccines. Like, I didn't even know that I could say no. I thought I had to do what the doctors told me to do, right? Okay, so you keep going down, 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 down. Why is it important for you to know that, to let moms know that they have a choice? Like, to me, that's where I hit that 4th question. That deep level was like freedom. Like, everybody deserves the freedom to have choices. Everybody should get to be able to decide what's best for them and their family. Okay, why is that important to you? And then I finally got to like, well, I want my husband to come home from his job. Like, this is why I'm doing doTERRA, because I kind of like my husband, and we had these kids together, and yet he's working 40 hours a week and I'm here at home, right? Kind of feeling like I'm doing this on my own. Even though he comes home and he's an amazing dad, he's super tired at night and he's missing a lot. And so that just allowed me to get deeper and deeper and deeper. So I encourage you to look at why you're doing doTERRA and taking yourself through those 7 levels. If you can do this with someone else, where there may be helping you and asking you why, you might respond differently than if you were doing it by yourself, and that could be a good or a bad thing. So I would encourage you to do it either way, either alone or with someone else. But that is what I wanted to share with you. And it's important that you write it down, because we don't always necessarily believe what we say. We believe what we do. And I feel like there's a difference in making it concrete when you're writing it down versus just thinking it. And Randa, you talked about the power of words, but you also wrote down your words. And so I think there's power in that extends beyond what we're saying. So that is my 3 to 5 minutes. I'm not sure how long, but thank you, Amy. And I appreciate you doing these calls.
Thanks, Heidi. No, I thought that was beautiful. I love how each of you shared from a place of where you're at or what you've been learning. That was perfect. I purposely didn't give any parameters. So it was just perfect. I think it's, guys, wasn't that fun to hear from our, I mean, Wendy, you're amazing, but hear from our upline leaders, right? A little bit about what they're going on. And there is like life beyond my systems and my craziness. So it's good. There's freedom out there from me. So, thanks everybody for being on. Stay tuned in our group for June and July and what's coming up. But I really do. This is like a super special time. So I'll post the recording. Enjoy the rest of your evenings and let's make it a great May. You know, do some of these exercises, resources, and get after it. Okay. Bye, everybody.